दामोदर रति वर्धन वेशे हरि निष्कुट वृंदाविपिनेशे राधे जय जय माधव दयिते माधव दयिते गोकुलतारुणे मंडल महिते वृषभानुदधी नव शशिलेखे ललिता सखी गुण रमित विशाखे करुणा करुमयी करुणा भरीते करुणा भरीते सनक सनातन वरणित चरिते राधे जय जय हे माधव दयिते। दो पांच बार महामंत्र बोलिए। हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा
और भी कुछ बोल सकते हैं आप।
हरे कृष्णा so okay, so we बहुत सुंदर हम श्री राधाष्टमी को सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर। आज इस राधाष्टमी का तृतीय दिवस है और बहुत सुंदर यहाँ पर हम श्रवण कर रहे हैं प्रभु जी की मुखारविंद से कैसे ये जो राधाष्टमी है उसकी जो महिमा है अब उसमें मुझे जस्ट इमीडिएट माइंड में आ रहा है वो ये है कि यदि हमने जो 2 दिन कुछ श्रवण किया है उसको कुछ स्मरण करें तो कितना बड़ा सौभाग्य होगा, क्योंकि गत 2 दिवस में जो हमें श्रवण करने मिला है वो वाकई में अद्वितीय है। और इस प्रकार जैसे हम श्रवण करते हैं प्रभु जी के मुखारविंद से तो बहुत रेयर है और इसको याद करना चाहिए। तो याद करने का एक सिंपल ट्रिक है कि भाई हाँ उसको हम अच्छे से सुने, बार बार सुने, और या तो उसको स्मरण करना है, उसको याद रखना है, तो फिर इसका कुछ रिवीजन होना चाहिए, है ना। जैसे हम स्कूल में पढ़ाई करते हैं तो रिविजन्स देते रहते हैं सो दैट दैट पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट हम उसको याद कर सके, उसको हमारे माइंड में बिठा सके। तो ऐसी श्रीमती राधा रानी की सुंदर लीलाएं हमने श्रवण की हैं गत 2 दिनों में, और उसके पूर्व प्रभु जी ने बहुत ही बार बताई हुई है। तो प्रश्न ये है कि आइए, आज अवसर नहीं मिलेगा हमें। हरे कृष्णा।
बंदो श्री राधा चरण पावन परम उदार। बंदो श्री राधा चरण पावन परम उदार। भय विषाद अज्ञान हर भय विषाद अज्ञान हर प्रेम भक्ति दातार प्रेम भक्ति दातार। श्रीमती राधा रानी के श्री राधाष्टमी महामहोत्सव की बड़ा खोज के निकाला है।
Hare Krishna.
आप सबके लिए प्रथम
I
बार
have
होगा।
found it very great difficulty and after a long search, and it might be first time for you all. For me, this is all my service and worship. Through my speech, I should offer flowers to the lotus feet of the Lord.
अनेकों प्रकार की सेवा साधना भिन्न भिन्न भाव से होती है।
So, different people do their perform devotional service with different mellows, emotion, intent, and by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we do different services. But what is our devotional service depends on their mellow and intent. Some give preference to Sankirtan or congregational chanting. Some give priority to listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is my service.
राधाष्टमी के इस अमेरिका में कल मनाई, भारत में आज।
So in America we have celebrated it yesterday, but in Bharatvarsh or India it is today. So on this auspicious day, let's bow down at the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. The mellowful sages and saints of Vrindavan have beautifully described Bando Shri Radha Charana. I bow down at the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. And how are the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani? I have this mellow in my heart. On the first day, I have mentioned that what is the birthplace of love. So I said that Krishna Janmabhoomi is Mathura, Rama Janmabhoomi is Ayodhya, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace is Mayapur. But the birthplace of love is Srimati Radha Rani. And I said this. Then Shri Krishna came and pulled my ear at night that the birthplace of love is Radha Rani. It's not. Then who is it? He said that
प्रेम की जन्मभूमि राधा रानी के चरणों की रज है।
it is the dust of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. Radha Charan Renu, that is lotus, the dust of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani.
श्रीमती राधा रानी तो प्रेम स्वरूपा, इनका तो
She
कहना
is the epitome of love, which cannot be described or understood fully, but the foundation of love is the not her feet, but the dust of her lotus feet. So such Radharani's lotus feet I bow down again and again. And how are her feet or lotus feet? Then the mellowful sages describe Pavan, that is pious or pure, and Param Udar. Her lotus feet are the most benevolent, magnificent. Our Lord Krishna's feet are benevolent, but not the most benevolent. But Srimati Radharani's benevolence is the most. Lord calculates and then he gives his mercy. In Bhagavad Gita, he says Yatha Tatha. So, as a devotee performs accordingly in that measurement, I will respond. But Srimati Radharani is not like that. So, whatever Krishna is doing is a business, it's not mercy. And we are going to listen about her feet, the mercy of her lotus feet or the benevolence of her lotus feet shortly. So, I remember the words of a sage from Barsana, and I saw him for the first time. And after the Katha, he came to meet me. So there was a great discussion, and he was crying and speaking with his overwhelmed speech. He said that I am speaking on this word udar or magnificent, merciful. So how merciful she is, just see. So the sage who came from the hometown of Mother Radharani and has bought a scarf of Srimati Radharani and he put it on my head. So I was immensely blessed by him. So there was this discussion that what is the benevolence of Srimati Radharani? He says that in Nandgaon there is Nandeshwar Mahadev and Nand Baba made a great palace, and Lord Shri Krishna might have given his input that this thing should be in this manner, so on and so forth. And when this palace was ready, then it was inaugurated. There was this housewarming party or ceremony, and where Radharani was also invited from Barsana. So everybody was there to celebrate. Srimati Radharani was also there. Everybody was happy and ecstatic. But only Srimati Radharani was not satisfied or happy. So Krishna looked at her face and said that she should be happy, but she's not. This somehow he approached her and said that this is such a great opportunity or an event. Everybody is ecstatic, but why are you upset? Why you are not happy? She said that I don't even feel an iota of happiness. She said that I've made this palace for you. So she responds or replies that you have made a beautiful home or a palace, but the welcome note that usually is put on the home to welcome people, so which we used to do it. Nowadays the boat has changed. Beware of dog. You should be careful of the dog. So there is a note on the door, but Radharani replies to Krishna that your palace is very beautiful, but the condition that you have put is not appropriate. These are the personal interaction with this great sage from Barsana. So there were quite a few things which I won't be able to share, but this is one of the things that he shared. So Krishna said, what condition you don't like? Radharani said that you have put a board that
निर्मल मन सो मोहि पावा मोहे छल कपट छिद्र न भावा ये बोर्ड लगाया है
so he has put this board, Nirmal Man, whose heart is pure, who doesn't have any type of fault, only that person can enter my home. So whose heart is completely pure and his senses are under control can enter this Nand Bhavan. So she says that, oh Kanhaiya, you just think about it that a living entity in this Kali Yuga, how can he be pure and have control over his senses on his own accord? Whose heart is pure, and that too in Kali Yuga, who can be of a pure heart? And you have put this great condition. So this is not appropriate. So no living entity from Kali Yuga would be able to enter your palace. I don't like it, so I am leaving now. And she left. And she told her father, Rishbhanu, Baba, that the home that Krishna has made, I want a bigger home than this one. She said that, why should we do? So she says that, no, I want it, it should be higher and bigger than this home. So, Vrishbhanu Baba was capable, for your information, Nanda Baba had 9 lakh cows, but Vrishbhanu Baba had 11 lakh cows. So he was more affluent than Nanda Baba. To satisfy and make Radharani happy, he created a palace which is on Brahmagiri. So it is on a higher mountain, and if you look at the circumference, then it is bigger or larger, and such a beautiful palace was created by on behest of Srimati Radharani. And then there was a housewarming part ceremony where Lord Shri Krishna was also invited. Krishna tells Radhe, why did you didn't had any need to do this. I have already made a palace for you. She replies that, Kanhaiya, in your palace there is a condition that only a pure heart can enter, only I can enter. But in Barsana, the palace that I have created, you can look at the door. If someone enters by just Radhe Radhe, he will get an entry in Barsane. Or if someone speaks Krishna Krishna, then they can enter. We will not look at any of his qualification or disqualification, and he will get an entry. This is the utmost mercy. That is why the sages of Braja say, Vando Shri Radha Charana. That is why when we perform devotional service, that is during that time we speak the name of Radharani first, because if we just chant the holy names of Krishna Krishna, because he will be calculating. But if we keep Radharani in front, then we will get the utmost mercy. So such mercifully, Srimati Radharani, I bow down at her lotus feet. Her lotus feet are pious, pure, and extremely benevolent. And how are they? Bhai, Vishad, Agyan, Har. Har means to steal or remove. So her lotus feet has this potency to steal the bhai, that is fear. So whatever fear we have in our life, that can be removed by the mercy of Srimati Radharani's lotus feet. And the second is Vishad. Whatever distress, obstacles, sadness we have can be removed by the mercy of Srimati Radharani's lotus feet. And all kind of ignorance can also be removed. And what does they give in return or in reciprocation? Radharani's lotus feet steals all these three things. And what do we get in reciprocation? That is prema bhakti datar. She is the one who gives, or her lotus feet are the one who gives us the unalloyed devotional service towards the Lord. Prema bhakti.
जो प्रेम और भक्ति को देने वाला है, ऐसे श्रीमती राधा रानी के चरणों में हम
So I bow down at such lotus feet of Srimati Radharani again and again, who is the provider of the pure loving devotional service towards the Lord. So we have heard about the birth of Radharani so far, and today also we are going to hear that. But when we listen to this pastime with mellow intent and love, then we have this thought, as Nand Baba and Yashoda Maiya got this great opportunity to have Krishna as their son, and Vrishbhanu and Kirtida Mata had this great opportunity or blessing to have Srimati Radharani as their daughter. So when will we get the same blessing or opportunity? So there is a reference from Srimad Bhagavat as we are celebrating this Radha Rani's appearance day. So Parikshit Maharaj asked Shukdev Goswami that what have Nand Baba and Yashoda Maiya done, what austerity they have performed, that Lord Shri Krishna was born or appeared there, and Vrishbhanu Baba and Kirtida Sundari begot Radharani. So this is the inquisitiveness of King Parikshit. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. With overwhelmed voice, Parikshit Maharaj asked,
करोद ब्रह्मन् श्रेय एवं महोदयम् यशोदा च महाभागा पपो यस्यास्तनम हरि। अब इसकी टीका में तो बहुत सारी बातें हैं।
So in the commentaries there are so many things that where after listening to the pastime of the birth of Lord Shri Krishna, Parikshit Maharaj had this question that even we has this intent desire that how Krishna was born, what austerity have Nand Baba and Yashoda Maiya has performed to begot a son like Lord Shri Krishna. So he asked, Nand Kim Karod, what have Nand Baba done? Brahma, that is a person who knows everything, who is omniscient. So Shukdev Maharaj is given this beautiful address. So This is the,
लेकिन यशोदा महाभागा,
and
नंद बाबा
Yashoda is Mahabhaga.
यशोदा को
The
माना जाए
Yashoda Rani is far more fortunate than even Nand Baba.
स्तनम हरि, कि उस
Papo
यशोदा
Yasya
का
Stanam
गर्भ
Hari.
स्वयं भगवान ने
Because
लिया,
the Lord had
जिस यशोदा के गर्भ से स्वयं भगवान प्रकट हुए,
the Lord had
सो
fed
मुझे मैं ये
or
जानना चाहता
sucked
हूँ,
the
हमें भी ये
and
जानना चाहिए
the
राधा
bosom
के
of
अवसर पर ये सब
Mother
जानना चाहिए
Yashoda.
कि भाई
So this is
किस
what we should try to
करके राधा जन्म हुआ।
understand. What have they done that
सो हम बात
they
करते हैं
begot Radharani or
परीक्षित ने
Krishna
श्री
at their home?
राधास्वामी
So
को पूछा
Parikshit Maharaj
कि
asked this
नंद बाबा
question
ऐसा कौन सा महासाधन
to
किया,
Parikshit Maharaj that what was the
यशोदा
austerity
ने
that
ऐसा
they have
क्या किया
performed?
था
What have
कि
Mother
श्री
Yashoda
राधाकृष्ण
done
उनके
that
घर पर बेटा बन गए,
she
उनके
got
पेट
an
में खेले, उनको
opportunity
अनेकों प्रकार से लाड लड़ाए,
to nurture,
और यशोदा
nourish,
का तो स्तन का पान किया, ऐसा क्या किया।
and get the nectar of her bosom?
कृष्ण की और महिमा आगे बताते हैं कि पितरों
Further,
न
he
विष्णु
speaks
की
the
लीला
glories of Krishna.
और
He
जो
says,
पिता थे
Pitro
वसुदेव और
na
देवकी,
anvindita.
लेकिन
So
देवकी
there
और
were
वसुदेव जिस
other parents
कृष्ण
like
की
Devaki and
लीला को
Vasudev.
देख तक नहीं पाए।
They couldn't even see the pastimes
पितरो
of
न
little
अरविंदेताम कृष्ण
Krishna or the childhood pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna.
अपने अर्भक अपने उदार बालक की लीला को जो देख तक
They
नहीं
had
पाए,
such a benevolent,
जिस
magnificent son,
कृष्ण की
but
लीला,
they
दूसरी
couldn't
लाइन में
see the pastimes
गायंती,
of
यद्यपि
such
कवि
Lord
हो, जिस कृष्ण की लीला को बड़े बड़े
whose
कवि शुकदेव
pastimes and glories are sung by
व्यास
great,
जैसे
great
बड़े बड़े लोग
sages,
जिस
saints, and
कृष्ण की
poets
लीला
like
को गा के
Kavi,
वो थकते नहीं,
like Vyas,
और यत श्लोक
Shuk, etc.,
मलापहम, जिस कृष्ण की लीला के श्लोक सारे मल को सारे दोष को
and
दूर करने
whose
वाले हैं,
pastimes can remove all
वो
our
स्वयं भगवान
impurities.
श्री कृष्ण
Such
वो
Lord
तो
Shri
यशोदा के
Krishna
बेटे बन गए, बस
became the
जरा
son
जितना
of
जाने
Nand and Yashoda. So,
उसने क्या
oh,
किया था, बस
great sage, please tell me what have they done
नंद यशोदा के
or
घर
what
में
did they
लाड
do
लड़ाए
that
कि
they got
क्या
such an
किया था,
opportunity
मैं
to have
बताऊं। और
such a
राधा
sweet
रानी
parental affection
बृषभानु और कीर्तिदा के वहां गई थी,
towards the Lord.
तो बृषभानु कीर्तिदा ने क्या किया था महाराज ये बताएं, आप लोग जानना चाहते हो कि नहीं।
So, do you want to
आगे
know or not?
लाइन है तुम्हारी, आपके मन में इच्छा होती है,
So, do you have this desire to know?
नहीं तो फिर
Then
कुछ और
I will
बोला
proceed further. Otherwise, I'll take another
सो
direction.
क्या किया था, क्या
So,
क्या
what
क्या राधा ने
did
वृषभानु और
they
कीर्तिदा को
do?
लाड लड़ाए हैं? छोटी सी दुल्हनिया अंगना में खेले हैं, आंगन में खेलती थी,
That
क्या
they
क्या
got such a beautiful
सब कहा कि
opportunity to
इन्होंने
have a
क्या किया था,
beautiful
ये जानना चाहते
bride at their home. So, what
अच्छा
have they
क्या किया
done?
बताइए,
That is what they want to know.
आप लोग करोगे तो मैं बताऊं,
So, will you
करोगे
do
तो
that?
सही है,
Then
ज्यादा
only
मुश्किल नहीं है, शायद
I will
कर भी
share
रहे
it
हो
with you.
लेकिन इंटेंसिटी
Maybe
थोड़ी सी
you
कम
might
है
be
आप
doing,
में।
but maybe the intensity is
ये
less.
राधा और कृष्ण भी आपके घर पर जन्म ले सकते हैं,
So Radha and Krishna can also be
लेकिन
born at
सुखदेव
your
जी
home
सुखदेव जी
and
बोले वैसे साधु
give
संतों
you
की बात नहीं,
the
शुकदेव
mellow of
गोस्वामी ने इसका उत्तर दिया,
parental affection. And Shukdev Goswami responds or replies to
कृष्ण
this
जन्म किसके
question
घर
by
में ले
Parikshit
सकता
Maharaj
है,
that
तो
who
श्री
all
शुक
can
उवाच, शुकदेव
have
गोस्वामी उसके बाद तुरंत
the Lord
नेक्स्ट श्लोक
or
में
Srimati Radharani as their
द्रोणो
child.
वसुनाम प्रवरो धरया भार्यया सह करिष्यमाण आदेशान, करिष्यमाण आदेशान ब्रह्मण तमुवाचः, ब्रह्मण तमुवाचः। मैं ज्यादा इस श्लोक का पोस्टमार्टम ना करूं, ज्यादा मतलब इतना गहराई में न जाए,
If
क्योंकि
I don't elaborate on this too much,
लेकिन इस श्लोक
because
से
we are
बहुत सारी
discussing on the
बातें
mellows
आती
or
हैं।
intent. So there are two major things
इन
in
इन इन
this
लोगों ने दो
verse.
चीज किया था,
So there are two
यदि मैं
things
और
that
तुम
these
लोग करें
they have
तो
performed, and if we
भगवान
do
हमारे
the
घर पर
same,
जन्म ले
then the Lord will appear in our home as well. And what are those two things? Shukdev Goswami replies, this Nand Maharaj was thrown in his previous life. And who was he? Vastunam Pravaro. He was the best among the Vasus. Vasus is a type of a living entity. As we have Gandharva, Charan, Vidyadhar, Yaksh, etc. So Vasu also is the species of the living entities. So Nand Baba was a drone and Mother Yashoda was the woman named Dhara. So Drone and Dhara in their previous life. So there are two things that we have to do. First is Bharyaya Saha. So Drone, along with his wife, performed devotional service. If you want the Lord to appear in your home, then you both should perform devotional service together. When they perform another devotional service together, then the Lord will manifest. If they both have different directions, then the Lord will not appear to see your fight or tussle. When the husband and wife have love and they both perform devotional service together, this is mentioned in the verse. So along with his wife, he performed devotional service. So there is one thing that is proved here, that the Lord can appear only in the home of grastas or householders, not in the homes of celebrator sannyasis. So at least we have this great opportunity that we can have this mercy of the Lord. And to attain the Lord, what is another thing that we should do that is equally important? So what have Nanda and Yashoda Maya done? Karishyaman Adesha. Karishyaman is they did. And what did they do? Adeshan. So they used to follow the instruction of their spiritual master. So what have Nand and Yashoda done? Do? They have, so Lord Brahma was their spiritual master, and by making them their spiritual master, they have followed his instruction, and they both have performed the devotional service by the path set by their spiritual master. So you might say, we all are also following the path of our spiritual master or the instruction of our spiritual master. So it's not about Nand Baba and Yashoda. After the churning of the milk ocean, when the king Surya or the sun god performed austerity, the Lord did appear, but then he made Brahmaji his spiritual master, and then the Lord appeared. And the first birth of Radharani was in the mountain of Vindhyachal, where Rup Goswami writes that Vindhyachal has also performed austerity by serving Brahmaji as a spiritual master. Then the second birth, as we are going to listen, Vrishbhanu Baba and Kirtida begot Srimati Radharani. So their pastime is that they also have made Brahmaji there as a spiritual master. So our great fortune is that we are also in the same disciplic succession. Brahmaji is the head, and we have Narad Muni and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in succession. So Lord Brahma, making whom their spiritual master, Yashoda Rani and Nand Baba begot Krishna, and Kirtidas and Vrishbhanu Baba got opportunity to begot Radharani, by making his spiritual master. So, and we also have got, we are on the same disciplic succession, and we also have got the spiritual master. But the only obstacle or hurdle is that we are not following the instruction of our spiritual master correctly or appropriately. Then some of them might say that we are following the instruction of our spiritual master. Then what should be the intensity by which we should follow the instruction of our spiritual master? It is beyond our perception or contemplation. In Radha Ras Sudha Nidhi, this all has been spoken in the reference with the mellows of Srimati Radharani. It is mentioned, there is this verse in front of your screen. This is a very powerful verse which tells about with how much intensity we should follow our spiritual master.
न रचंती भालस्थले लसत तुलसिका मालिकाम दधति कंठ पीठे नवा गुरोम भजन विक्रमात्क इहते महाबुद्धयः। राधा रस सुधा निधि में,
so in Radha Ras Sudha Nidhi, this has been said that how much we should follow the instruction of our spiritual master. So we're just going to listen this, but we won't be able to reach to this point. But here it is said that whatever instruction we have been given by our spiritual master, so following that instruction, we should follow, or we should be so much engrossed in following the instruction of our spiritual master that after taking the bath, we all put our 12 tilaks on our body, but they are so much engrossed and engaged in following the instruction of spiritual master that after taking the bath, that he forgot to make or print the symbols of the Vaishnavas. So he's not able to do that. Then Vichitra Hari Mandir, they are so busy and engrossed in following the instruction of their spiritual master that he forgot to put the tilak on their forehead. If we try to use our brains here, then it will be difficult. This is a manifold situation. So there was a student in Gurukul was reading Bhagavatam, and he was very much interested in studying Bhagavatam. So he was contemplating on Bhagavatam at night, and the whole night elapsed and he was still contemplating, and his spiritual master called him and said that, what were you doing yesterday? He said that I was contemplating on this subject of Bhagavatam and I couldn't complete it, and I went to take a bath, and again I sat contemplating on the same. Then the spiritual master said that still there is lacking in your surrender. He said that how? Said while contemplating on Bhagavatam, you went to take a bath. It was not needed. You should have completed your contemplation of Bhagavatam. So if we say that the spiritual master said that you need not to take a bath, but here it is not about the rule or regulation, but it is about the mellow or intent.
का कोई ज्ञान नहीं रहेगा।
When you're contemplating
ये
on
बात यहाँ पर ये है।
Bhagavatam
फिर
or
श्लोक में भी यही
so much
बोल दिया
engrossed in
गया है
devotional service that
कि लिखा
you
है,
won't
बूझ
even
लोगे तो
think
गुरु
about
की आज्ञा
eating,
का पालन
drinking.
करते हुए आप अपने शरीर पर तिलक करना भूल गए। गुरु की
So here
आज्ञा का
also it
पालन
is said that
करते हुए
while
आप
following
अपने
the
गुरु
instruction
की
of your
आज्ञा
spiritual
का पालन
master,
भूल गए।
you
इसमें तो
forgot
हम
to
आधा घंटा
put
लगाते हैं
tilak
पूरा
on
डिजाइन मारते हैं।
your body
इसका
and
मतलब
forehead.
हैं, अंदर से हमारा दिल कैसा ही
We
क्यों न हो, लेकिन ये
spend
जो तिलक है ऐसा लगता है
hours
कि
to
ये बस
decorate our tilak.
ये शुकदेव वेदव्यास और प्रभुपाद के बाद यही होगा। मतलब हमारा तिलक देखकर लोग तो यही कहते हैं।
After looking at our tilak, people will think that we are Vyasadeva or Shukdev
गुरु की आज्ञा का
Goswami.
पालन करते हुए
So
तिलक भी नहीं। अरे गुरु की आज्ञा का पालन करते हुए
following the
तिलक नहीं।
instruction of the spiritual
लसत
master,
तुलसी मालिकाम
in third line,
ददति
Lasat Lasika
पीठे
Malikam
नवा।
Dadati Kanta
गले
Pike
में
Pithe
तुलसी की
Nava.
माला पहनना भी भूल गए।
He even forgot to put
कहते
a
हैं
tulsi
गुरोम
bead
भजते।
on their neck.
इस प्रकार से कोई गुरु का भजन
And
करे।
if
लेकिन
someone
प्रबोधानंद सरस्वती कहते हैं इह
meditates
तिलक
on his
बुद्धिय,
spiritual master in
ऐसा करने
such a
वाला
way, then
महाबुद्धिमान
Buddha
होना
and
चाहिए।
Swami says that such a person will be considered to
अरे
be
बाप रे, इसने तो तिलक नहीं किया,
extremely
कंठी
wise.
नहीं पहनी,
People might
इसका
criticize that
भजन
he's
कितना
not
ही
wearing
करेगी।
a kanthi
लेकिन
or tulsi beads,
ब्रज रसिक
or he
राधा
hasn't
रसिक
put
राधा
tul-
रस सुधा निधि
the
में
tilak,
क्या कहा गया?
but a
अरे
mellowful.
इह ते, ऐसा करने वाला महाबुद्धय, महाबुद्धिमान है। लेकिन ऐसा
So,
बुद्धिमान महाबुद्धिमान
but the
कहाँ
mellowful
मिलेगा?
saint or sage will say that such
अभी
a
तो
person
गुरु
is
के
extremely
साथ
wise.
अंदर से भजन साधन हो
But
या ना हो,
now
गुरु की आज्ञा
we
का
just
पालन हो या
do
ना हो,
all of these
लेकिन
things
बाहर से भजन
outwardly,
तो
not
हम ही
inwardly.
करेंगे। लेकिन राधा और कृष्ण को अपने घर पर जन्माना चाहते हो,
But if you want
तो गुरु
Radha
की
and
आज्ञा
Krishna
का
to be
पालन
born
करते हुए
at
ये
your
सारी
home, then
फॉर्मेलिटी छूट जाए तो चलेगा, लेकिन
we
नहीं
should
लगेगा।
follow the
देखो इससे
instruction of our
हम
spiritual
क्या
master.
समझाना
So,
चाहते हैं?
what does Prabodhanand Saraswati wants to teach us?
हम लोग
Let's
गुरु
first
की
understand
कृपा
that
से,
by
गुरु
the
की
mercy
आज्ञा
of the
से,
spiritual
गुरु
master
ने ही तो हमें
and
तिलक
his
करना
instruction,
सिखाया। ध्यान से
because
सुनिए,
he has taught us
गुरु
how
ने
to
ही हमें
put
तिलक
this
के बारे में समझाया,
tilak
तिलक करना सिखाया, कंठी के बारे में समझाया,
and
कंठी के बारे में
told
समझाया,
about
लेकिन
the
कुर्ता
kanthi or
नहीं
tulsi
समझाया।
bead, dhoti kurta, everything
अब गुरु ने कोई आज्ञा
has
दी
been taught by him. And he has
हम
given
उसकी
an
आज्ञा का
instruction.
पालन न करें और वो कंठी
If we,
तिलक धोती
if
कुर्ते
we
में ही रह
don't
जाए,
follow his instruction but
तो ये
just get
गुरु की
in,
शरणागति काहे की है?
entangled in all these
अरे नहीं,
things,
उसने
then
तुम्हें
what
जो
is the
कुछ भी
surrender here?
सिखाया है और वो
The
आज्ञा
person who
कर
has
रहा है,
taught
वो
you all
आज्ञा
and he is
महत्वपूर्ण
giving an
है,
instruction,
अन्य
then that
फॉर्मेलिटी तो कुछ
instruction
भी नहीं है।
is important rather than
मुझे नहीं लगता
other
कि इस भाव
formalities.
को सब लोग
I
समझ
don't
पाएंगे,
think that everybody would be able to understand this
लेकिन धीरे
mellow,
धीरे चिंतन मंथन
but
कीजिए, आज नहीं तो कल
gradually
समझ
just
जाएगा।
contemplate and understand. Try to
जिस
understand, and
गुरु ने
gradually you
हमें
might understand
भक्ति मार्ग
the
में
spiritual
प्रवेश
master
कराया,
who has given
जिस
us
गुरु ने
the
हमें
entry
एक
to
एक
the
वस्तु को
path of
सिखाया
devotional service and taught us each and
और वो
everything,
वस्तु हम रोज करते हैं,
and we do
वो
all
गुरु
those
कोई
things
आज्ञा
on a daily
दे,
basis. And
उस
he gives
आज्ञा
you
को
an
गुरु ने
in
करने से
special
पहले बोला
instruction.
नहीं, हम पहले वो करेंगे, वो करेंगे,
And
वो कर
if
पाएंगे, वो
we
करेंगे,
say that
बस
first we will
बाद में
do
हम
all
बोलते
these
चले
things,
जाएंगे,
then
वो
only
करते
we will
चले
follow
आएंगे।
the instruction.
तो
So
हमारी
is that
सहायता के
instruction
लिए
more
भक्त
important
बोल
than
रहा है।
the formality? And this
अब
is what happens
हम
in
लोग
our life
बहुत
on
से
a daily
बहुत
basis.
बड़े डिवोटी और
Outwardly,
बहुत
we
बड़े भक्त ऐसे बन जाते
uh,
हैं, लेकिन
become
खुद
devotee
अपना
outwardly,
अपराध कर देते हैं।
but we
इसलिए
offend
गुरु
our
कुछ नहीं
spiritual
सिखाएगा,
master.
याद रखिए, गुरु
So
को
this
कोई
will not
ट्रेनिंग नहीं होगी।
give any,
गुरु तो केवल अंदर से लीला देखकर
it will not be a
ऐसा
loss to the
करेगा,
spiritual master. He will
इसमें
look
हमारा
at the
घटेगा,
past and
हमारा घटेगा।
but we
जिस
will
गुरु ने
be
हमें ये
at
सब कुछ
complete
सिखाया
loss, because the spiritual master who has taught
तो
us
अब मैं इस
everything.
पर न करूं, लेकिन मैंने आपको
So
एक इंडिकेट कर दिया।
I
आप
have
इस पर
just
सोचिए,
indicated you.
समझिए,
So you all should
इधर
contemplate on this, that where do we stand? What is our position?
यदि इस प्रकार से कोई गुरु की सेवा करे,
And
तो
if a spiritual
हाँ,
master is
नंद
served
और
in this
यशोदा ने
manner,
ऐसा
then
किया था।
so this is what Nand and
नंद और
Yashoda
यशोदा
has
पूर्व
performed
जन्म में
or
गुरु
done.
के आदेश का
In their
पालन
previous
किया।
life, they have followed
बहुत सुंदर।
the the instruction of the spiritual master. So the instruction of the spiritual master is important than other formalities. I remember the words of our spiritual master Radha Govind. He used to say that you should try to understand the perception of the spiritual master, that what he desires. So if following the instruction of the spiritual master, then even if our other formalities like putting the tilak or wearing the tulsi beads become secondary. So first we should understand the instruction, perception of spiritual master, what does he desires, and then we should follow it to the teeth. And that is what Nand Baba and Yashoda Rani has done. That is why Krishna became their son. Similarly, Kirtida Sundari and Rishbhanu Baba have performed devotional service. So, if you want Radha and Krishna to be born as your child, then we should be sincere and follow the instruction of our spiritual master. In Radha Ras Sudhanidhi, it is mentioned in ISKCON, we do a darshan arti. So we might not reach at the time of Mangala Arti, but Darshana Arti is at 7:15, so we might reach at that time. So it is very important. So Srila Prabhupada ji has said that the two verses from Brahma Samhita are sung.
तो ये गाते हैं गोविंदम आदि पुरुषम तमहम भजामि। फिर ये श्लोक है वेणुम क्वणंतमरविंद दलायताक्षम बर्हावतम समसिताम बुध सुंदरांगम कंदर्प कोटि कमनीय विशेष शोभम गोविंद मादि पुरुषम तमहम भजामि। ये हम भक्तों के लिए कोई नई बात नहीं है, राइट? इसी के ऊपर हम चर्चा करें।
So this is not anything new for us as we sing it or recite it on a daily basis. So in the Darshan Arti we sing this verse. So first understand this verse. Then
मैं आपको ऐसा देना चाहता हूं कि आप न चाहो ना फिर भी राधा महिमा राधा की आपको याद आए।
I just want you to remember Srimati Radharani when you recite this now. So this is what we recite on a daily basis. So let's understand this verse. So the beauty or form of the Lord Krishna is being described here. The one who holds the flute in his hands or who plays his flute. Venu is the flute, and then Arvind is the lotus. His eyes are like lotus petal. Aksham is eye, Arvind is lotus. And then he has a beautiful peacock feather on his head. And Sita Mambut, he is as beautiful as a water-filled cloud. Is dusky. And the third important point is how is Krishna? In the third line it is said,
हमारे यजमान का नाम यहाँ पर है कंदर्प कोटि कमनीय विशेष शोभम। कैसे है?
So how is he? How is the Lord? Kandarp Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham.
अच्छा, इसका अर्थ क्या होगा?
So what does it implies?
राम देव, मतलब मैं आपको ऐसा देना चाहता हूँ कि आप न चाहो ना फिर भी राधा महिमा राधा की आपको याद आए।
So, what does it implies? So, Srimati Radharani, when you recite this now, Kandarp is Kamadev, or the demigod of love, or and Koti means millions or billions of Kamadev. Kamaniya means beautiful. So the Lord is far more beautiful than millions and billions of Kamadev, who are epitome of beauty. But he is Vishesha Shobha, means he is specially attractive or beautiful. And that is why he is referred to as Madan Mohan. So Kamadev's one name is Madan. So he can attract even Madan, or the demigod of love. That is why he is referred to as Madan Mohan. So there are two things here. So in the third line, Kandarp Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. He can mesmerize millions and millions of the demigod of love, that is Kamadev. So this is the beauty of the Lord Shri Krishna. So in Radha Ras Sudhanidhi, it is mentioned that Krishna is as much beautiful only till the point when Radharani is standing next to him. So I have to give you the proof so you can see and look at this verse. This is a gift on Radhashtami. Let me keep these two verses in front of. So in the above verse, or at the top, it shows the beauty of the Lord, that even the millions and billions of demigod love or Kamadev is nothing in comparison to Krishna's beauty. But here in the below verse, the beauty of Radharani is sure. It is, or the glory of Radharani is sung, that when Radha is with Krishna, tada Madan Mohana. Radha Sange Yadha. So when Radharani is standing with Krishna, then this above verse is applicable or appropriate, that he can attract even the Kamadev. But so in the next line it is mentioned Anyatha, that is, but if she's not there, then the Lord who can mesmerize and attract the whole world, he can be attracted by the demigod of love, that is Kamadev. But if Radharani is standing next to him, then millions and billions of such Kamdevs can be attracted or mesmerized by the Lord. So this quality of the Lord to attract all the living entities is applicable only till the point Srimati Radharani is standing next to him. If she is not there, then let me tell you all who are sitting here, this verse of Shringaradi, you should sing only when he's sitting or standing next to Srimati Radharani. If he's alone, then this verse is not applicable, because he cannot attract the Kamadev. If Radharani is not there, he himself becomes mesmerized by the Kamadev. So when ISKCON, when we sing this verse, so we show mirror. So they show mirror to the Lord. like Ratimanjari Mataji who do the altar service, So when this aarti is being played, so at that time they show mirror to the Lord. And why do they show mirror to the Lord? Just understand this intender mellow, because Lord Shri Krishna, or the ornaments that is put on Lord Shri Krishna is Radharani herself, because alone Krishna is nothing, but in this mirror, Krishna wants to see how much merciful Radharani has been on me. By her mercy, how much beautiful I am looking. So this is the intended meaning. We all have been just following the rules and regulations, and to get out of all these rules and regulations, we need to understand the Katha. Such Katha are pastimes of the Lord. But such is our great misfortune that we don't do that. So Krishna himself looks at how much Radharani had been merciful on me. Because all the ornaments are worn by Krishna are the epitome of Radharani. So when Krishna is standing next to Radharani, then he is Madan Mohan, that is, he can even attract the god of love or Kamadev. But when he is not there, when she is not there, then he himself can get attracted to the demigod of love, that is Kamadev, Madan Mohita. Therefore, the one who beautifies Krishna is none other than only Srimati Radharani. So there are so many other elements, and the foundation of all the essence is Krishna. But the sages of Braj have said
तत्व शिव तत्व गोरी है, प्रेमी कहे नाग किन्नर को तत्व देखो, शेष और महेश तत्व नेति नेति जोरी है। तत्व के तत्व जग जीवन श्री कृष्ण चंद्र, लेकिन कृष्ण हु को तत्व वृषभानु की किशोरी है। पूरी दुनिया का तत्व कृष्ण हमने
Krishna is the essence of the whole world. But if there is an essence of the Lord Shri Krishna, that is the daughter of Rishabhanu, that is Srimati Radharani, and it's her appearance day. So let's come together and seek her mercy of her lotus feet, and then we will listen to the pastime of her appearance.
तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृंदावनी रांछवीं राधिकाम् प्रेमोल्लास भरा धिकाम निरवधि ध्यायन्ति ये तद्धिया त्यक्ता कर्मभिरात्मनेव भगवत धर्मेप्य हो निर्ममा सर्वाश्चर्य गतिम गता रसमयीं तेभ्यो महभ्यो नमः तेभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमः। सो आज श्री राधा अष्टमी के
So today,
पवित्र पर्व में
on the auspicious day of Radha Ashtami or appearance of Srimati Radharani,
परंतु श्रीमती राधा रानी के जो अनुरागी भक्त है
so all the mellowful devotees of Srimati Radharani,
भक्तों के चरणों में
so I
शत शत वंदन
bow down at the lotus feet of such mellowful devotees of Srimati Radharani.
श्री प्रबोधानंद सरस्वती
Shri Prabodhanand
राधा
Saraswati
निधि
in Radha Ras
के
Sudhanidhi,
80 में
80th verse is saying
कि चलो
that
श्रीमती राधा रानी के चरण और उनकी कृपा तो हमसे बड़ी दूर है
her
कृष्ण तो
mercy and her lotus feet of
लेकिन
Srimati
राधा
Radharani
से
is
दूर
far
हो
away.
जाए
Krishna
तो
is
एक चीज
anyways further than us, but if
कि राधा चरण
even mercy of the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani is also far away, then
और इस पर ही मैं बोलने वाला हूँ
if we
प्रेम के वार्ता रे वार्ता
have
ढूर चारता है
the
उधर नहीं
mercy
वो तो
of
बहुत हो गया
the mellowful devotees of Srimati Radharani.
इस पावन अवसर में
So
राधा
on this
के चरण
auspicious day,
अनुरागी भक्तों के चरणों में
I should bow down at the lotus feet of the mellowful
देखिए कृष्ण
devotees'
सेवा
lotus feet.
राधा सेवा
So serving Lord Shri Krishna or Srimati Radharani is good,
उद्देश्य क्या है
but what should be the
इन
goal?
सेवाओं का उद्देश्य
What the goal of such
राधा
devotional
चरण
service is
अनुराग है
to have
कहीं
attachment
ऐसा तो नहीं है
towards
कि
the
सेवा करते
lotus feet
हम
of Srimati
भूल
Radharani.
गए हैं
While
या फिर
performing this
ऐसा तो
devotional
नहीं है
service,
कि
have we
सेवा
forgotten
करते
our
हैं
goal, or
लेकिन लक्ष्य
we
को
are
पूरा
serving the Lord, but we are
उद्देश्य
not
को नहीं
aware
पूरा
of our goal?
विशेष रूप से हम गौड़ीय भक्तों के लिए
Especially for
राधा
the
चरण अनुराग
Gauriya
ये हमारा
devotees,
डेस्टिनेशन है राधा
this
के
is
चरणों
the attachment towards Srimati Radharani's lotus feet is
और ऐसे राधा चरण
our
अनुरागी
prime goal.
भक्त मिल जाए
And
तो
if we
उनके
get
चरणों में शत
such
प्रणाम है
devotees, willful devotees who has attachment
बहुत सुंदर है
to her
भक्ति मगन तोड़ दे ऐसा
lotus feet, then
यदि
that
समय
is
हो
our
इसको
goal.
आराम से बैठकर एक एक शब्द का आस्वादन हो सकता है समय है ना
So
आपके
this
पास?
each and every word can be
शनिवार है,
discussed and
समय
described.
होगा आपके पास
So I hope you all have time because it's the weekend. So please try to understand. In Radha Ras Sudhanidhi, this is the 80th verse. If you look at this verse straight forwardly, then you might not be able to understand, but let's break this down to understand. So in the first line, it is mentioned Keshurat. So she is in adolescence, and her name is Kishori as well. So when she enters the puberty, then her beauty is extreme or is at its prime. So during her adolescent age, her beauty becomes uncomparable.
अद्भुत माधुरी नांग छविम राधिका क्या शब्द वापरा है कि इतनी
Look at the beautiful word that they've used.
आप शब्द को समझिएगा
Her beauty increases many folds. So please try to understand this word. During her adolescent age, she becomes so beautiful that she has to carry the weight of her beauty.
अपनी सुंदरता का भार वहन करती है और हम लोग सुंदरता खोजते हैं
And we try to look for our
हो जाए
beauty.
हमारा तो
That
कोई कंपैरिजन
at least we get some beauty. So we all are incomparable. But Srimati Radharani's reference, it is said,
केशो रात अद्भुत माधुरी भरधुरी मतलब सुंदरता की सीमा है और
she is the
उस सुंदरता
epitome of
का
beauty,
वहन करती है श्रीमती राधा रानी
and she has to carry the weight
और ऐसी अत्यंत
of
सुंदर
that
उसका
beauty.
देखिए कारण क्या
And
हुआ दूसरी लाइन
because
में
of such extreme
प्रेम
beauty,
उल्लास
what happened?
राधिकाम
Prema Ullas Radhikam Nirvid.
प्रेम उल्लास को राधा रानी पार कर गई है
So she has crossed
सुंदरता को भी पार कर चुकी है
the
और
beauty
प्रेम उल्लास को भी
and
पार कर चुकी है
bliss and
भगवान
love.
श्री कृष्ण के उस अत्यंत प्रेम को पार कर चुकी है
So she has crossed this
ओके
extreme
ये
love
इतना
of
राधा
Lord Shri
रानी का
Krishna.
परिचय हुआ
So this is the introduction of Srimati Radharani, that she is in her
और
adolescent
अपनी
age, she is
सुंदर का
beautiful,
भार वहन कर रही है
and
कृष्ण
she is
से
carrying the weight of her
अपने
beauty.
प्रेम की सीमा
And
भी पार कर
by
चुकी है
loving Krishna,
उस
she has crossed
राधा
all
रानी
the
का
limits,
ध्यायन्ती ये
transcended
तद्धिय
the limit of
उस
love.
राधा
And
रानी का अपनी बुद्धि में कोई ध्यान करता है
if someone
अपने
meditates
मन में अपने
on her
चित्त में अपने
or
अंतःकरण में
contemplates on
उस
her
राधा रानी का कोई
from her
ध्यान
from
करता
their
है
mind or heart,
ओके इतना समझ में आया? ध्यायन्ति ये तद्धिय दिया माने बुद्धि से अंतःकरण से चित्त
dhyayanti
से
te
अपने
dhiya.
मन से
Dhiya is the
अंदर से
mind or intelligence, and dhyayanti means to
तो
meditate
ये
or think.
करने से क्या होता है
So
ये
what
करते
happens by
करते
doing
हो जाता
so,
है
or by
अरे कम
if we do it
थोड़ा
repeatedly, what
काम
will
की
happen?
बात थोड़ी सी आ रही है क्या होता है तीसरी लाइन में
So it so
त्यक्त्वा
happens,
कर्म भी
tyaktva karma
आत्मनेव
bhi
उसके
atmaneva.
सारे कर्म छूट जाते हैं महाराज
All his
कर्म छूट जाते हैं वो जो भी
karma or
वर्ण
r-
का धर्म
deeds.
आश्रम का धर्म जो भी अपने कर्तव्य है रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी छूट
So
जाती
all
है
the responsibilities
मतलब इतना चिंतन
are
इतना चिंतन
so they
श्रीमती राधा
meditate.
रानी का
So
इतना ध्यान
they
इतना
meditate
चिंतन
so much on Lord,
कि
on
त्यक्त्वा
the
कर्म
Srimati
भी
Radharani, that
आत्मनेव
tyaktva
कर्म
karma
छूट जाता
means
है
that they
कल कमनीय कृष्ण
leave
प्रभु और हम लोग बैठे थे
their kar or
चर्चा तो हो रही
responsibility.
है
So we both were sitting together and there was a discussion,
प्रभु
and
जी काम धंधा
he
छोड़
said,
कर केवल भक्ति करने से नहीं चलेगा
if I get rid of work
मैंने
and
कहा
just perform devotional service not
नहीं
suffice.
चलेगा
So I
लेकिन ये
responded,
इच्छा
it
बहुत
won't work.
अच्छी है
But this desire
समझ
is great.
ये
So
भाव
please
बहुत अच्छी
understand,
चीज है ये इच्छा
this
बहुत अच्छी चीज है
intent is good.
तत्व को समझिए देखिए मैं आपको है
So
ना
try to understand this
तत्व
element
समझाना
or
चाहता
essence.
हूँ फिर
I
डिसीजन
want
आप
to
अपने से ले सकते हो
give
हमारे
you
यहाँ
the
क्या होता
essence,
है
and then you can
एक बार आप
take a
समझ
decision on
लेंगे
your own accord if you
और
understand it.
भाव के साथ साथ
So with
सिद्धांत को भी
emotion and mellow, we should understand the
प्रबोधानंद महाराज ने
philosophy
क्या
as
लिखा
well.
तीसरी लाइन को
What has
समझिए
Prabodhanand Maharaj
त्यक्त्वा
written?
कर्म भी
Tyaktva karma ir.
राधा रानी के महिमा तो आपने सुन ली उस पर चर्चा न
So
करें
you've heard the
लेकिन
glories
राधा
of
रानी
Srimati
का
Radharani.
ध्यान करते करते करते
So by
अपने
meditating
कर्म देखिए
on
कर्म
Srimati
छूट
Radharani,
जाते
they
तो कर्म छोड़ते नहीं है राधा
they
रानी
don't
के
leave their
चिंतन करने
responsibility,
वाले
but
भक्त
the
कर्म
devotees
छोड़ते
who
नहीं है
meditate on
क्योंकि
her, they
उनका
don't leave
त्यक्त्वा
their
कर्म भी
responsibility,
आत्मना एव
but
कर्म उसे छोड़ देते हैं
somehow the
बस
work
इतना समझ
leaves
लेना
them. So this is
हमें
the difference.
कर्म
This is
नहीं
what we need to
छोड़ना
understand.
है
We need
कर्म
not to get
हमको छोड़ देने चाहिए
rid of our responsibility or
भगवान का
not.
चिंतन इतना करे कि
So
कर्म हमको छोड़ दे हमें कर्म नहीं छोड़ना
only karma should leave us, or the deeds
त्यक्त्वा
should
त्यक्ता
leave us.
कर्म आत्मना एव कर्म अपने से उस बंदे को कर्म को
So
दया आती है
automatically
कि अब इसको रिलीज करो अब
the
इसको छोड़ दो यार
karma should be merciful and
ऐसी भक्ति
think that
करे
now
ऐसा
we should
प्रेम
release
करे ऐसा
him.
चिंतन
So we
करे
should
ऐसा
love
मनन
and
करे कि
contemplate and perform such a devotional service that even though the things that let's leave him alone. So our focus or concentration should not be to leave our responsibility, but on contemplating on Srimati Radharani, our Guru Maharaj, and on our devotional service. So I have seen that 99% devotees' goal is to get detached. So they leave their work. So that is not the goal. They should leave us. Our goal should be to perform devotional service. We should have so much attachment to the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani that the work itself should leave us. So now Rup Goswami is coming in front of me. Once Rup Goswami was sitting, and while sitting in seclusion, he saw an elephant. And by seeing an elephant, what was his observation? He has written in a verse. So the great scholars and sages, whatever they write, we should take an understanding from it. So they learn everything. So their vision or perspective of seeing the material world also is different. So when he saw this elephant, what was his observation? You can look in the verse below. So what does he write? He said that when an elephant was walking, so according to the grammar, we will have to take the second line first. So he says that an elephant was moving, and on his head, so the Gandasthal, that is the space between eyes and his ears, so that is the temple. So when an elephant moves, then there is a beautiful nectar flows or honey that flows from his temples or Gandasthal. So this honey drips from his Gandasthal. You might have seen elephant, but have you seen this? So what did he say? Ali bee. Ali bee is the bumblebee or the honeybee. So as there is honey, that too it is ready-made. That is why the bumblebee or honeybees try to move around him. So what does Rup Goswami? Because it is a ready-made honey and they can drink it. But all these honeybees and bumblebees, they leave that elephant and go and sit on the flowers. Vanmalam, in the first line you can see, Bhajmane Guru Rapi Poshtapi Dan Purena. So they were on the head of elephant where they had ready-made honey. So, but they leave him and they went to the flowers. It's so they have to suck, and it requires so much great effort to get honey. So they leave the ready-made honey and went to the garden. And the reason Rup Goswami says that this bumblebee or honeybee saw that the honey that we require is in the forest. So in the flowers in the forest have the honey that can nourish us, and that is why they are attached to those flowers. Although here you can see the honey coming out in the flowers, you cannot see it, but still they go there. So you might have understood this. So the elephant was going, and on the temples from the elephant, this honey was flowing, and this was ready-made, and they left the, and they went to the flowers in the garden, thinking that we won't be nourished or nurtured by this ready-made honey, but by the honey in the flowers. That is what Rupa Goswami has written. So what did you understood here? So this is an ordinary thing. So what is that we should understand from this verse? So if I ask you that all these bumblebee or honeybees, they left the elephant and went to the flowers in the forest. So what was important for them? To leave the elephant or to go to the flower? So what was their goal? So the goal of the bumblebee was not to leave the elephant but to approach the flowers in the garden. So they are attached or goal, or their goal is to suckle the honey from the flower. And when they approached the flowers, then automatically they left the elephant. Similarly, we also should have an attachment to the lotus feet of the Lord. Then this material world and their work responsibility will automatically be left. So they will, the attachment to Radharani will deride this material responsibility, etc. And when we haven't approached or reached that stage, then we won't be nowhere. So this is what we should understand. So when we perform devotional service, this comes to our mind that we should leave everything behind, but we should be experienced or expert. And when we reach that stage, then all these works leave us. So what are we supposed to do? We should perform our devotional service, and we should have attachment to the that devotional service. So far we have heard that she is so beautiful and she is the epitome of love towards the Lord, and a pure devotee who is totally attached to the lotus feet of such Srimati Radharani, his karma and dharma automatically leaves him. So some people might not understand this. You want to listen, but when we speak, then you understand. So what are you supposed to do? So, take warm milk and go to sleep. So the karma and dharma takes our leave, or sarva dharman paritajya. So this is what. So when we have total attachment to the lotus feet of Radharani and Lord Shri Krishna, then you can see in this verse, Tyaktva karma bhi atmaneva. The karma will leave us, and then further Bhagavad Dharma oh nirmama, even the dharma will be left. So what is dharma here? That is rules and regulation. So we are not pure. We all are at the stage of performing devotional service. So we should be following the Vedi Bhakti, that is following the rules and regulation. But when we will have the total attachment to Srimati Radharani, then we will leave those rules and regulation, as was the case of Bharat Maharaj. But although we reach by Vedi, we reach that stage, but after we reach that stage, then that also becomes futile or negligible. So such an exalted devotee who is focused on the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, and sometimes such devotees are criticized, and we think about them, because all those who create huge, huge temples, they get a great name, and those who have completely engrossed and attached to Srimati Radharani, because their dharma and karma has already left them, and they are criticized. Such exalted devotee is criticized. He is attached. He did not require to do any karma or dharma. Why? Because he is already attached to Radha and Krishna, and we should not judge others by our intelligence. We don't know how much they are attached to the Lord. Let me give you another gift. Just try to understand this verse. So please listen very carefully. Hey Madhu Sudan, hey Madhu Manthan. Please try to understand this verse. Tvad angri sevam hridi vidhati. The service at your lotus feet, if someone does it in their heart, but he doesn't have any attachment. So this is all discussion about the attachment. So we don't have attachment to the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, and still he serves you endlessly. When I read this verse, I keep myself in this place. You serve on a daily, but how much attached I am. You serve, you die of serving, but if you don't have attachment, so you can see in this verse. So initially, we have to butter and tell that you come and perform devotional service, but now that you all are fixated, so that is why I'm trying to make you understand this. So here it is said that if someone serves you from all their heart and yet has no attachment towards you, and no matter how much intelligent or wise he is, if he serves you ceaselessly, constantly, but he doesn't have any attachment toward your or Radharani's lotus feet, then his service is not service, but if you like, it's not even piety. Here it is said that not sukriti but dushkriti are evil. So if someone serves Radha and Krishna and there is no attachment towards them, then whatever they have done is dushkriti. Triloke. So no matter where you do whether in any part of the universe or the three worlds, whatever devotional service they have performed, kritam, akritam, that is equivalent of not doing it, or it's a futile exercise. So I perform Katha, but if I don't have attachment to the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, then I'm just working like a donkey. I'm just carrying the weight of wisdom or, or knowledge, because otherwise it is a futile exercise. This is what we should try to understand. Service is important, but we should have attachment to that service, or we should have attachment to the Lord. So without any attachment, if we serve endlessly, ceaselessly also, but that will be considered as evil work, and it will be considered as futile or not doing it. And in the end, he concludes, if you have attachment to the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, then even if you haven't done anything, yet you have done everything in this world. If you have attachment to the lotus feet of the Lord.
कि बस ये तो केवल कुछ नहीं करता, ये तो बस केवल भागवती पढ़ते रहता है, यही करते रहता है। ये स्थूल चीज जो है उसके
So this subtle thing, we should have attachment towards it. Therefore, first and foremost, we should never judge the mellowful, loving devotees of the Lord. Second, we serve so much, but they don't do, they have this attachment. So those who are attached to Radha and Krishna, then even if they don't do anything, then also they have achieved everything. On the other hand, who doesn't have any attachment to the lotus feet of Radharani, he does everything, but it is futile and it is like not doing anything. Therefore, Prabodhanand Maharaj says, now come to the prime verse that we were discussing.
उसके कर्म भी छूट जाते हैं, उसके धर्म भी छूट जाते हैं, और सर्वाश्चर्य गतिम गता रसमयीम, और वो निरंतर,
and he constantly meditates on Srimad Mellowful Radharani, and on the lotus feet of such devotee, I bow down and offer my humble obeisances at their lotus feet on this Radhashtami, because they are very glorious. Outwardly, they might not have created great temples, they might not have done great deeds, but those who are attached to the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, I bow down at such lotus feet. If you just tied on this verse, one verse, I'm just going to share it with you. You might be seeing this for the first time. Then, if you contemplate on this, understand this, then you will never ever do Vaishnav offense or offend a Vaishnava. And let me give you with the reference, Skanda Puran, Reva Khand. When we go through all these Puranas, then we get such a gem. If we understand this, then we will never ever offend a Vaishnava. We don't know this. That is why we comment. So we are talking about such exalted devotee who is completely attached to the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani and the Lord, and he need not to do anything beyond it. But such devotee, even if they don't follow the principle of religiosity, still it will be considered as the principle of religiosity. For a mellowful, exalted devotee, even if he doesn't follow dharma, then also it is dharma. So look in this verse, dharmo bhavati dharmo api krito bhakti achyuta. So, oh Achyut, oh infallible Lord, your exalted devotee who are totally attached to you, even if they don't, if they form the principle of religiosity, still it is dharma. For example, Vasudev ji didn't kept his promise and left Krishna or took Krishna from Mathura to Gokul. So then that also is considered as dharma. So there are many other analogies that can be given here. And then papam bhavati dharma api, even if he has followed the principle of religiosity, that is dharma, still it will be considered irreligious. Why? Because they are not your devotee. Tav abhakte, that is, who are not your devotee. And a devotee's sin also be considered as principles of religion. So there is no. So where is a reference of offense towards a Vaishnava? Because even a sin of a religious person or of a devotee is considered to be religious. But this we should not use for ourselves. This is for the devotee who is totally attached and engrossed in the Lord. And Prabodhananji writes here that I bow down at the lotus feet of such exalted devotee who are completely engrossed and attached to the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. So by the mercy of the Lord, and we have got an audience and association of such great devotees because of the we are trying to understand with all humility the nectar of the drop of the nectar, and that is the great mercy of Srimati Radharani on us. So let's listen to the Katha. So let's enter the pastime. Today in India or Bharatvarsh, today is Radhashtami was celebrated. So Srimati Radharani, how was she born? So we will listen to that. So far you have heard
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण। सो हरे कृष्ण, क्षमा कीजिएगा, कुछ व्यवधान के कारण शायद हम प्रभु जी को नहीं श्रवण कर पा रहे हैं, बट विल गेट हिम सून। तो बहुत ही सुंदर यह शिक्षा हम यहाँ पर ले रहे हैं कि कैसे श्रीमती राधा रानी की ये जो जन्म कथा हम श्रवण कर रहे हैं, और उसमें कितनी सुंदर ये अद्भुत शिक्षाएं हैं जो आज हम आस्वादन कर रहे हैं, और बहुत सुंदर सुंदर सिद्धांत यहाँ पर प्रस्तुत हो रहे हैं प्रभु जी के मुखारविंद से, और सटीक प्रमाण के साथ में। और जैसे प्रभु जी बता रहे हैं, हमारे कमनीय कृष्ण प्रभु की जिज्ञासा से हम सबको श्रवण करने मिला कि कैसे प्राय भक्तों की ये इच्छा होती है कि भक्ति ही करते रहे। तो जो वास्तविक भक्ति है भक्ति हृदय में जो चिंतन होना चाहिए, परंतु साथ ही साथ बाह्य दृष्टि से हमें हमारे कर्म करते रहना चाहिए। और प्रभु जी ने बताया कि यदि हम हमारा मन भगवान में लगाते हैं या श्रीमती राधा रानी के चरणों में लगाएंगे, तो समय आएगा कि कर्म हमको छोड़ देगा, क्योंकि वो किसी और को पकड़ लेगा, क्योंकि उसको पता हो जाएगा कि नहीं, अब ये व्यक्ति वापिस आने वाला नहीं है। इन शॉर्ट, इनका मन अभी भगवान में लग गया है। तो बहुत सुंदर ये बात है कि यदि हम हमारे प्रयत्नशील रहते हैं भक्ति मार्ग में, फर्म रहते हैं, सबन रहते हैं, जैसे हम हमारे कर्तव्यों में कैसे लगे हुए रहते हैं भौतिक जगत के कर्तव्य में, वैसे ही साथ हम भक्ति को जोड़े रखेंगे और भक्ति मार्ग के कर्तव्यों को करते रहेंगे, तो समय आने पर यहाँ पर अनुराग हो जाएगा और यहाँ पर विरक्ति हो जाती है। ये सुंदर बातें हैं जो प्रभु जी यहाँ पर हम सबको रसास्वादन करा रहे हैं, इसके लिए हम विशेष आभारी हैं। और कितनी सुंदर सुंदर बातें हैं जहाँ पर हम देख श्रवण कर रहे हैं कि वह भक्त जिसका अनुराग भगवान में हो गया है। हरे कृष्ण।
क्षमा कीजिए, अमित नारायण प्रभु को मैंने 2 बार रोक दिया, उनको उभरा आ रहा है कुछ बोलने का। कल आपका रखते हैं, एक काम करता है। सो तो गत सत्र में
So far
विंध्याचल के वहां श्रीमती राधा रानी का प्राकट्य
in Vindhyachal, Radharani appeared
उन कन्याओं को
and Putana abducted these daughters of Vindhyachal, and there were 9 daughters. According to Rupa Goswami, in Ujjwal, Nilmani has mentioned about 2. So regarding the birth of Radharani, there are many pastimes and nothing is wrong. According to difference of time, etc. Whatever you like, you should. Nobody is forcing. So, the Puran that I'm discussing, that is Brahma Vaivarta and Garga Samhita, 9 daughters were born to Vindhyachal, and 8 daughters fell down in different villages. So the first one was dropped, and the 9th one was dropped in Yamunaji on the lotus flower. And how Vrishbhanu Baba got this daughter. So in the Moon dynasty, there was a king whose name was Nipji, and his son was Jugji, the king, and then Dayadhi, and Dayadhi's son was Dharmadhir. When we go in Braja on pilgrimage, then all these pastimes are there. So Dharmadhir Raja was married but he didn't had any children. So this king Dharmadhir and along with his wife came to Giriraj Govardhan. You might see there is Chakreshwar Mahadev's temple. Chakreshwar Mahadev's temple. For 13 years, they venerated Lord Shiva, and the Lord Shiva appeared and gave him the benediction that you will have a beautiful son, and in your lineage, Lord Shri Krishna's beloved will appear. So, in the Moon dynasty, a clan, there was this king Dharmadhir, and his son was, by the mercy of Lord Shiva, was Mahibhanji. And he was married to Sukhda Devi. And near Raval they resided. Mahibhanji and Sukhda Devi had 5 children. So the middle one was Vrishbhan, became the king. And he was married to Kirtida Devi. So Vrishbhanji is referred to as Vrishbhanu. So this Vrishbhanu Baba and Kirtida settled or started residing in Barsana. In their previous life, there is this pastime that there was a king Rig. Many centuries back, and his son was Shuchandra. And Suchandra was married to Kalavati, and they enjoyed their senses, and then they performed austerity on the foothills of Vindhyachal. For 12,000 years, they performed great austerity and satisfied Brahma, who appeared and asked him to ask for any boon or benediction. So that you will beget a daughter whose husband will be none other than Narayan or Krishna. So let me add a philosophical point here. In every incarnation, everywhere, Radharani's father is Vrishbhanu and mother will be Kirtida every time. But those who perform devotional service, like who do devotional service with attachment, and when the Lord wants to be merciful, then that devotee enters Kirtida or Vrishbhanu Babas. So they are fixed. So the parents of Radharani are fixed, but those who do such kind of austerity enter there. Krishna's parents are also fixed. Those who perform devotional service in particular fiction, so they enter Nand and Yashoda so that they can get the benefit. So in this manner, Vrishbhanu and Kirtida Devi had one son whose name was Sridham. And this Sridham Sakha is an eternal associate of the Lord. And he resided in Barsana. So they had a son, but they didn't have any daughter. So once their ancestors who used to reside in Raval, but they shifted to Barsana. So what did they used to do? Sometimes during vacation, they used to visit Raval. As people have farmhouse sometimes people in vacation visit Shiva from Tempa. Similarly, Vrishbhanu Baba and Kirtida Devi came to Raval. So it was Bhadrapaksh, Shukla Paksha Ashtami Tithi, and in the morning, Kirtida Devi was taking a bath in Yamuna Ji. Even if you go to Raval, although there is no Yamuna, but still Yamuna Ji is flowing in front of this house. And so Kirtida Ji is taking a bath here in Yamuna Ji, and all these friends are praying to the Lord and Yamuna Ji that our friend has a son, but she doesn't has a daughter. So if she gets a daughter, then she will be the most fortunate. And by just thinking this, they started chanting her names. And as they were singing and bathing, so that lotus flower which has Radharani was flowing in Yamunaji, and it started coming towards the place where Kirtida Devi and her friends were taking a bath. So they all were looking at this lotus flower which was shining as bright as gold. So this golden hued lotus flower was approaching them. So they started increasing the tone of their congregational chanting, and when in the Anuradha Nakshatra, Radharani was Radharani was attained in Anuradha Nakshatra. So, I just want to share one thing, otherwise I'll forget. When Krishna was born, then Nand and Yashoda showed his horoscope. And what did the astrologer say? Your son will be married with the one who is born in Anuradha Nakshatra at 12 o'clock. But they were unable to find such a girl who is born in Anuradha Nakshatra and at 12 p.m. And that is Radharani. And for your information, who is born in Anuradha Nakshatra, he will or she will be a devotee. You can check it for on your own, because that they have this mellow of Srimati Radharani. So on Bhadrapaksha Shukla Paksh Ashtami Tithi, exactly at 12 o'clock in Anuradha Nakshatra, this flower approached, and what the desire they had, and in this 1,000 petals lotus flower, in which there was so much effulgence, and there was this beautiful girl who was playing. All the friends were thinking that we were desiring, and this girl is here. So they took her and handed over to Kirtida Devi. And as soon as she took her in her arms, her bosom was filled with milk, and they all said that by the mercy of the Lord, Kirtida Sundari had begotten or attained a beautiful daughter. So when Radharani was attained, but there was no festival in Raval. But they directly went to Barsana. And when they came to Barsana, Rishbhanu Baba performed all the auspicious activities, and everybody is there to congratulate Rishbhanu Devi. So let's stand up and congratulate Rishbhanu Baba. We all should go there where the birth of love towards the Lord has appeared. Let's congratulate them.
बधाई कीरत ने लाली जाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई, बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई, बरसाने बजी बधाई, बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई, बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली, कीरत ने लाली जाई, बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई, बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली हो बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई, बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई। सूरज और सूरज चंदा, सूरज और चंदा सी प्यारी, सूरज और चंदा सी प्यारी, लागे तीन लोक से प्यारी, लागे तीन लोकन से न्यारी, सूरज और चंदा सी प्यारी, लागे तीन लोक ते न्यारी, हर मन में खुशी समाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई, हर मन में कीरत ने लाली जाई, बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई, बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई, बरसाने बजी बधाई, बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई, बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई, बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई, ब्रिज मंडल खुशी मनावे हैं, नाचे और सब मंगल गावे हैं, ब्रिज मंडल सब खुशी मनावे हैं, नाचे और सब मंगल गावे हैं, बाजे ढोल मृदंग शहनाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई। बाजे ढोल मृदंग शहनाई, बरसाने बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई। कीरत ने लाली जाई, भानु घर लाली आई।
कीरत ने लाली जाई, भानु घर लाली आई।
भानु घर लाली आई, कीरत ने लाली जाई।
भानु घर लाली
हालो हालो बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई।
बरसाने
हो
कीरत ने लाली जाई।
बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई। सभी देख देख मुस्कावे हैं,
सभी देख देख मुस्कावे हैं।
बाकी नजर नहीं हट पावे हैं।
बाकी नजर नहीं हट पावे हैं।
सभी देख देख मुस्कावे हैं, बाकी नजर नहीं हट पावे हैं।
बाकी नजर नहीं हट पावे हैं।
भानुगर भानुगर लक्ष्मी आई, कीरत ने लाली जाई। भानुगर लक्ष्मी भानुगर लक्ष्मी आई, कीरत ने लाली जाई। भानुगर
लक्ष्मी आई, कीरत ने लाली जाई।
कीरत ने लाली जाई, भानुगर लाली आई। गाओ गाओ कीरत ने लाली जाई, भानु घर लाली आई। बरसाने बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई।
बरसाने
हो
बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई।
बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई।
बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई।
जाकी सब नजर उतारो जी,
जाकी सब नजर उतारो जी।
राइलुनी सखिया पे वारो जी।
राइलू न सखिया पे वारो
जाकी सब नजर यूं तारो जी,
जाकी सब नजर उतारो जी,
राईलून सखिया पे एवारो जी,
राईलून सखिया पे वारो जी,
जाऊं प्रीत सखी बलिहारी, कीरत ने लाली जाई, ये जाऊं प्रीत सखी
बलिहारी, कीरत ने लाली जाई,
ए जाऊं प्रीत सखी बलिहारी, कीरत ने लाली जाई, ए जाऊं प्रीत
सखी बलिहारी, कीरत ने लाली जाई,
कीरत ने लाली जाई, भानु घर लाली आई, कीरत ने लाली जाई, भानु घर लाली आई, ए बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई, बरसाने बजी बधाई, हालो हालो ए बरसाने बजी बधाई, कीरत ने लाली जाई, श्री राधा रानी चरण बंदो बारंबार, श्री राधा रानी चरण बंदो बारंबार, जिनके कृपा कटाक्ष ते रीझे नंद कुमार, रीझे नंद कुमार, राधे 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 बरसाने वाली राधे, 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 बोलो राधे 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 राधे, जतिपुरा में, गोवर्धन में, दान घाटी में, पाप मोचन कुंड में, संकर्षण कुंड में, गोविंद कुंड में, भैरव कुंड में, उचरी का लोटा, कुसुम सरोवर, श्याम कुटीर में, सने बिहारी, साक्षी गोपाल जी, राधा माधव, राधा वल्लभ, युगल किशोर जी, साक्षी गोपाल जी, विपलेश्वर महादेव, रंगेश्वर महादेव, राधे 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 बरसाने वाली राधे राधे, बोलो राधे 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 राधे, वृंदावन में, सुनरत गांव में, काली देहा पर, पान गली में, मान गली में, कुमन गली में, कुंज सेवा में, प्रेम गली में, श्रृंगार घाट में, चीर घाट में, केशी घाट में, निधि वन में, वंशी वट में, राधा वन में। जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे जय राधे। श्री राधाष्टमी महामहोत्सव की, श्रीमती राधा रानी की, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद